And now he will count as the attacker. And he's the one who'll get the 2 dice. And this spearman will get 1. Hey Wargamers, Purple Druid here, and today we are going to just do a quick and dirty practice video for the killing fields and go over a couple of things when it comes to movement. So we're just going to demonstrate a couple things here. I have a cavalry that's going to count as armored cavalry, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it. Here, I'll show it to you. This is an oldie but a goodie from back in the day. So armored cavalry, and then I have a couple of infantry troops here. We're going to call these 3 light infantry and this one heavy. And we're going to demonstrate how they move. So cavalry, armored cavalry, moves at 5/9/15. Which is their normal movement rate, their canter movement rate, and then the gallop movement rate or the charge movement rate. Cavalry have 3 speeds. In the basic skirmish game, 1 inch equals 4 yards, and a turn is 10 seconds. So that means that your cavalry can go at a walk or trot 20 yards in 10 seconds, which it doesn't seem like very much, but if they're just walking, that's basically walking speed for a man as well, which is about 6 or 8 steps, depending on your pace. So for armored cavalry, if they want to get up to gallop speed, they need to go first at normal speed, then at the canter, and then at the gallop. If we had some light cavalry, they can go straight to gallop because they're light. And those rules are borrowed or / inspired by our friend Bill Lamming and his medieval battle rules. So let's go ahead and let's move this guy back a little bit. So if he's going to move his normal move, that will be 5 inches. Okay, and maybe I need to get a counter of some kind so that we can determine what speed he's going. I'll make a note of that. But for right now, let's just go ahead and we won't give him a counter because he's just moving at normal speed. We'll give him a counter when he starts to canter, and then we'll give him another counter, or when he starts to gallop. So then for a canter, he can move anywhere from 5 to 9 inches. So he can canter up to 9. And while he's cantering, he can also maneuver. He can turn, he can ride this direction 4 inches and then turn, and then ride this direction 5 inches. So we'll give him a little token to show that he is cantering. Now, when it comes to the gallop, this is when the cavalry would be able to declare a charge. So say we have let's move this out of the way so you can see. That might have been a bad scenery choice. This model is going to charge this model. Because he's at a canter, he can do so. He can declare that charge. And what we'll do then is go ahead and move him, and he can move anywhere from 9 to 15 inches. So the thing is, it's 10 inches. He will need to square up. So that will take 1 inch. And then it's another 9.5 inches to there. So that would bring him into base contact with the infantry model. Now for regular foot, which we have over here, again, I have the heavy infantry who is wearing some armor and light infantry who is wearing very light armor. These two have spears. This one has a sword. This one has an axe. We're going to assume, for the sake of this demonstration, that each model, each figure, has a vigor of 5. And so if this figure wanted to declare a charge on this one, so this is our red force, he'll declare a charge. And I do have counters for those, but I didn't bring them. So that's why we're doing this. This is practice. So he's going to declare a charge, and he's going to declare a charge. And light infantry in clear terrain, his charge distance is 5. Heavy infantry, the charge distance is 8. So his distance is 5.5, and his distance is 6. So they are both within charge range. Now we'll move our charging figures in units, and Blue Force can do a charge response missile fire. We're going to say, for the sake of argument, neither of these have any missile fire, and there aren't any other figures on the table. So we'll just go ahead and move these up into base contact. Now at this point, if there are any red forces that are in disorder or withdraw or rout, they can attempt to rally. Also, Blue Force can attempt to do any missile fire. Red Force can then do war engine fire. And then Red Force, which again are these 3 models, will check Valor for figures in base contact for melee. So let's go ahead and check our Valor. Base contact for melee. So let's go ahead and check our Valor. Armored cavalry has a might of 4. And light infantry has a might of 1. So that is a 4-to-1. So we'll look on the 4-to-1 column. And we don't have any other modifiers. So 4-to-1, we'll roll a d10. And we have a 2. In the 4-to-1 column, a 2 is DX, which means defender eliminated. So what that means is this defender will be killed and removed from the table. So we can put him down as destroyed. Now, because this model can move up to 15 inches, but we only moved 10, he can move 5 more. So we'll put this casualty over here, and then he'll move another 5 inches. So that'll be the completion of his move. Now, we're going to leave the counter there because next turn he will have to move. He will not be able to just stop there because he's galloping. However, he can slow down to a canter, which means that he can maneuver. Now, let's do this one here. We have heavy infantry versus light infantry, might of 2 versus might of 1. So we're going to go in the 2-to-1 column on the Valor table, and we have a 6. Defender withdraws 2. So that'll be 2d6 inches that the defender will withdraw. So that'll be 7 inches. Seven inches straight back. Put this fellow right back here. And as we said, his charge was 8. He moved 6. So he'll be able to move another 2 inches. That will put him there. And now here we have a 1-to-1. So we'll roll on the 1-to-1 column. We have a 6. 6 is M for melee. So now the attacker and the defender will roll dice and see if we have any casualties. Now, for a might of 1, we're going to roll 1 white die and 1 green die. And the defender will be able to roll as many red dice as the attacker has for points of might. So if the attacker, say for instance, had 2 points of might, he could roll 2 green dice and 2 white dice, and then the defender can roll 1 or 2 red dice. But for this situation, we only have 1. So let's go ahead and roll the dice. And we have 2 hits. These 2 match, but it doesn't count as a double. Red and green have to be a double. So each of these 2 are going to do a wound to the other. So let's go ahead and roll damage. And our defender is going to do 1 point of damage, and our attacker is going to do 5 points of damage. And since his vigor is 5, he will be removed as a casualty. And his charge distance is 9 inches. I'm sorry, 10 inches. And he moved 5.5. So he has another 4.5 inches of move that he can advance. So he's going to move up to there. All right. So that will be the Red Force phase. Now, this unit has withdrawn. And not routed. So he will not have to rally this turn. So Blue Force can issue their orders. He's going to go ahead and declare a charge on this fellow right here. Blue Force will move their men and war engines. So that is 3 inches out of his 10. And now he will count as the attacker. And he's the one who'll get the 2 dice. And this spearman will get 1. But that's provided they get a melee. And we'll probably, I think we'll do the melee anyway, just to make sure, because we're gonna, there's an example here I want to include. So that is the end of movement for Blue Force. There's no Red Force missile fire. So now Blue Force will check Valor for figures in base contact. Here we have might of 1 versus might of 1. So we'll roll on the 1-to-1. And that's a 1, which means defender routes 3d6 inches. So he would have to come back 3d6 inches. So let's go ahead and roll that, just for an example here. And he rolls 7. So he'll fall back 7 inches. Now, they're in base contact. He can charge 10 inches. He only charged 3. That means he's got 7 inches left. So he'll be able to follow up and return to base contact with this model. Okay, so now he's completed his charging moves. And because they're in base contact for step 14, Blue Force gets to resolve melee. So we're going to roll 2 dice for the Blue Force, and we'll roll 1 for the Red Force. And the attacker, Blue Force, gets a 1 and a 5, which is 1 hit. The defender has 1 die. Now, in this situation, the spearman actually has a longer weapon than the axe wielder. So he would get to attack first. However, he did not hit, so he'll get hit by this weapon, and we'll roll a d6 for damage, which is a 4, which would reduce him to 1 vigor. At this point, the defender can choose to withdraw or counterattack. Now, he's got the longer weapon, and it's the second round of combat. So he may not want to do that battle. But we're going to go ahead and do a counterattack right now. So we'll go to the melee sequence. The defender can move any reinforcements. He doesn't have any reinforcements within 3 inches. So there are no reinforcements. The defender will now roll a set of green and white dice, and the attacker will roll a red. So let's go ahead and roll. Now, the spearman, for the counterattack, the spearman has a weapon that is length 4. The battle axe is length 3. So the spearman will still get to attack first, possibly wounding the axeman before he can hit back. However, we still roll the dice because there's chances for doubles and triples. So we do not have a double, we do not have a triple, and we now do not have any hits at all. And so that will be the end of this combat, because both of these figures have rolled attack dice equal to the total of their might. And so that will be the end of this turn. And there you go. Just a simple, easy peasy demonstration. Combat goes pretty quickly. All right, so that is how combat works. That is basically 1 turn in a vacuum, as it were. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I do look forward to discussing any ideas you have in the comment section. Thanks for watching, as always, and keep on gaming.